Hi, Francisco. Many people ask, do I need to host my code in the Jumpstart repository, or can I add my own repository to it?
Hey Thomas, yeah, for sure. That's a question that we get a lot, and and when we kind of design Jumpstart drops, we wanted to be really broad. What type of code can be kind of submitted as a drop, and what type of hosting of that source code our contributors could use. And basically, I'm gonna show you that you can use both. You can use the drops GitHub repository, and when you're doing that, basically all the source code, all the documentation is gonna be hosted inside the Jumpstart drops repository, which is an open source repository. Or you can always go ahead and use your personal GitHub repository. So let's say, for example, and I'm going to go into a specific example, right? That you have your own repository with your own code, and you want to create that drop repository. So basically, you'll just go right and fill right when it comes to the source where it's gonna drops going to use to get the content. You're gonna submit right with the link of the particular kind of a repository. In this case, for example, we're using just a Jumpstart drops, but this we have other kind of drops where I just go into the details that a particular contributor wanted to host all the code inside their own repository, and they're just providing right with the link to the specific kind of a repository. So for example, I go into this one, and you can see that if I go into viewing GitHub, this is a kind of a drop that is under the Azure samples, right? And in the end, the only thing that we're doing is we're just submitting this link, this reference, right? So that we can render all the code and all the kind of documentation, right, is brought from that specific, right, repository outside the Jumpstart drop repository. Just to add, both have their own benefits. I would say that if you're just contributing to the Jumpstart drops, we're gonna provide you with some tooling when it comes to the automation of the scanning, right? It's gonna be easier, right, for us to make sure you're keeping the code up to date. But again, if you just want to use your own repository, that's fine, right? Just make sure that when you're creating the drop, you're just using right your own repository there. So when you just go here, right, to the doc creation, you just select personal GitHub repository and you submit the correct URL.